Friends, please stand and join with me in our call to worship. Brothers and sisters in Christ, why have you come to worship this morning?
We come to celebrate the love of God in the form of Jesus Christ.
This love reaches through the darkness of our lives to embrace us. Our challenge is to trust the light of God's love in the midst of our struggles.
We come to celebrate the light of God, Jesus, who offers love and acceptance, not judgment and rejection.
If only we will trust. Jesus leads us in the way of light and love.
We come to celebrate our God, who loved and loves us so much.
Friends, keep your finger in that page because Sandy will bring us back after we turn and welcome one another to worship. And with the children, come forward, please. in the season of Lent, and everything is in the color purple. Can you see that? And it's a special time of year, boys and girls, because God is asking us a special favor. He would like us to look in the mirror and see what we see. So, who would like to volunteer? All right, come on up with you. Come on. All right. Now you look right there in that mirror and tell me what you see. You see everybody behind you, huh? Pretend they're not there. Just look at you. I see your offering here, Lila. I see your pretty shirt. What do you see? You see your shoes? Oh, you see a smile. Do you know what God sees? God sees a masterpiece. He says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made in the Psalms, that you're a masterpiece. Now I know, Lila, that everybody sees what's on the outside of you, right? You don't even see what's on the outside of you, don't you? I look in the mirror and I see a bad hair day. I see everything on the outside too. But God says that you're a masterpiece, and there's something that makes you very, very special to be that masterpiece. Can I tell you what it is, or do you want to guess? You want me to tell you? It's something inside of you. And your heart, absolutely. So now when you look in the mirror, stand in front of me here so I can get your heart. Your heart will be right up there. Now when you look in the mirror, can you see this? What's that? That's Lila's heart. Now, something completes that masterpiece. Lila and who? Oh, your sister. How about something inside your heart that you can't see, that you know is there, that God gives you, that makes you a masterpiece? Who do we talk about in Sunday school all the time? Yeah. And who's God in that person? Jesus. So when Lila looks in the mirror, she sees Lila and Jesus. And that is a masterpiece made by God. Do you not love it? You are a masterpiece. You have the biggest heart because you share a lot. Do you have, you have brothers and sisters that you have to share stuff with? Yeah. Can I give you a hug from my heart to your heart? I want to thank you so much for helping me today with our children's time. Boys and girls, everybody go home, look in the mirror, find a red magic marker that will only erase. Look in the mirror, write your name in the mirror, and Jesus. Nicholas and Jesus. Put a big heart around it. And remember that you are God's masterpiece. Promise? Mirror, red magic marker, doesn't erase. Jesus and me, masterpiece. Okay. We want to bring the suckers forward. Boys and girls, you can go back to your seats, and thank you so much. Friends, our scripture reading today comes out of Psalm 107. The psalmist writes, "Oh, thank God, he's so good. His love never runs out. All of you set free by God, tell the world. Tell how he freed you from oppression and rounded you up from all over the place, from the four winds, from the seven seas. Some of you were sick because you've lived a bad life. Your body's feeling the effects of your sin. You couldn't stand the sight of food, so miserable you thought you'd be better off dead. Then you called out to God in your desperate condition. He got you out in the nick of time. He spoke the word that healed you, that pulled you back from the brink of death. So thank God for his marvelous love, for his miracle mercy to the children he loves. Offer thanksgiving sacrifices. Tell the world what he has done. Sing it out loud." This ends the reading. Oh God, may your Spirit use these words to bring us closer to you. Amen. new look. They may have a new look. Thank you so much, Mendelssohn Choir. Well, friends, I have been hearing all kinds of chatter and references about our Lenten theme this year. You saw the big poster board coming as it came in on the ramp. The theme, of course, is The Wizard of Oz. Now, I wasn't here when this theme got chosen, but I honestly absolutely love it. And I thought it was kind of interesting that this is our Lenten theme, and I happened to see on Facebook just the other day, now I'm not on Facebook, but I saw on someone else's Facebook this comment about The Wizard of Oz. It said, today if Dorothy met men with no brains, no heart, and no courage, she wouldn't be in Oz, she would be in Congress. I'm just the messenger. And more fun about our theme this year, a couple days ago, David Stolting sent me an email with some building information, and then he closed out his note with a familiar and popular statement. We all do it. Let me know if you have any questions. Well, for some reason, I couldn't help but to be playful and respond to him as if he meant literally. So I asked, well, yes, I do have some questions. Like, how on earth did Noah really get every single species in the ark? And as I'm thinking about it, exactly how does the brain work? Oh, and the one I'd really like to ask you, why did I dream that I stole Dan Kruger's truck with his music equipment and a nest of barbecued chicken in the back seat? Thanks for the answers. No hurry. All my best, Judy. I really dreamt that. David responds very Lenten. I don't know. Why don't you go and ask the wizard? As Tracy, our Prep 1 teacher, shared on Wednesday evening with our confirmation students, Lent is a time for reflection, to look in the mirror. And friends, the reason that we're Lenting these 40 days is for the purpose of change. Now, yes, I know God loves us exactly as we are, but doesn't expect us to stay that way, because we're always called and invited to evolve closer to God's image. Love. Shedding old, damaged skin, so to speak, to make room for a new look. How to go about this shedding has been conveniently spoon-fed to us in the person and teachings of Jesus, so we know the way and the how. In some of our Lenten work this year, we have reflected how fear is transformed into courage. In some of our Lenten work this year, we have reflected how intelligent thinking is really not our desired identity. Our genius is not our end. Our brain power is not our means or our destiny on life's yellow brick road. Love is. In our Lenten work this year, as we continue now, particularly this day and this week, we continue with a reflection of our call to risk, where we exchange protective selfishness for compassion. Compassion for someone else's fear they may have for some situation, fear they may have for a health issue, or fear they may have about their prosperity, doubts, or perhaps compassion about the fear of being burned alive. And then without thought, but with courage and love, in great compassion, we grab onto God's promised healing waters, which are overflowing for us everywhere. We just look. And because of compassion, we grab it, and then we drench one another's fear and fire with its quenching love.
She did. You killed her.
I didn't mean to kill her. Really, I didn't. It's just that he was on fire.
Hail to Dorothy! The wicked witch is dead! Hail to Dorothy! The wicked witch is dead!
You all know the scene well. But this clip in the movie and its scenario is very personal to me and my family, because we experienced Dorothy and the Scarecrow in a most real way. And we saw, too, where risked compassion and love was tossed onto fear and fire. Back in 1994, my mother was working already 13 years as a highly skilled server for the 5-star, 5-diamond American Club Resort in Kohler. Her committed expertise was to the American Club's exclusive immigrant dining room. Everything about the immigrant dining room was exquisite. They offered the finest service, the finest food, and the finest wine, to include the extra special touch of tableside cooking. My mom was the best tableside server. She was famous, guests requesting her on a regular basis as they made their reservations. She was famous for her Caesar salad dressing, her steak Diane, her flaming cherries Jubilee, and especially for her Savaillon dessert. As a matter of fact, when my mom finished her tableside presentations and served her guests, her cooking cart would be rolled back into the kitchen by a bus person, where workers would flock to her empty bowls and pans, still laced with remnants of her delicious sauces or dressings, and finger lick it all up until the bowls looked washed clean. The specialty tableside cooking used in the dining room required the use of sternals to heat the pans. When the carts were brought back into the kitchen, the sternals were then extinguished and set aside for future use. Well, one busy Saturday night, a co-worker grabbed a sternal to use to make an Irish coffee, where the rim of the glass was coated with sugar and then heated by the flame to crystallize the sugar on the rim, making for a sweet and enchanting caramelized first and second sip. The co-worker noticed the sternal was empty and began to fill it with denatured alcohol. What the co-worker didn't realize was, although the sternal was empty, there remained a small flame deep inside. So when the alcohol was added, the entire gallon jug exploded in the worker's hands, and the roaring ball of fire rose and instantly sought out a host to attach itself to in order to survive its flames. My mom just so happened to be walking through the kitchen, no doubt her head looking down at her order ticket, seeing which dinner order was coming up, and unbeknownst to her, was walking straight toward a huge ball of fire. The rolling, flaming alcohol, it zoomed to attach to my mom, setting her entirely ablaze. Panicking, my mom screamed, causing the flames to enter her mouth while she frantically flapped her arms and kicked her legs. The immigrant head chef, just a few feet away, grabbed the nearby 5-gallon plastic pickle pail, which was filled with ice water and used for safety measures at the boiler. And he doused my mom with freezing salvation, tackling her to the ground and wrapping her in dirty tablecloths from the hamper nearby. Other servers suffered burnt hands as well, attempting to exhaust the flames on her. Her uniform was fire resistant and saved her body from being burned. Her neck, her face, her eyes, her nose, her ears, her head, and her hands, however, were seared. Her earrings were burnt onto her earlobes in the shape of the flower that they were. Her hair was singed to ashes. And by the time I got to see her in the emergency room, her head and face had swelled nearly to the size of a beach ball. I exaggerate not. Where you could not see her eyes or her mouth or her nose, but only slits to suggest where they might be. She mumbles to me as I leaned over her. She mumbles with her burnt throat. How does it look? I kept my mouth shut. Well, the Dorothy in today's true story I share with you, of course, was the head chef. But unlike the Dorothy and the Scarecrow that you saw in the clip, the head chef and my mom didn't exactly like each other very much. They were like how Samaritans and Jews felt about each other. Well, I suppose you know how my mom can be. And well, you know how chefs are. Strong opinion and egos are like straw in a lit match. They just don't belong together. Eventually, creating an atmosphere of power and control like a witch, stirring the poison that will be used to rid any possible essence of love. But in that moment of need, the illusion of their dislike from one another was invisible, having melted away with the dousing of an abundant, saving, pickle-scented holy water. The witchiness that may have been the chef and server's nature toward one another in the past was now nothing more than a vanishing vapor as the ego and fear was dismissed for love and compassion to take the stage. And we know the rest of the story. My mom heals. Hi, Mom. Love you. And the scarecrow you saw is extinguished. And with the green-faced, green-eyed wickedness of the Witch of the West, now a melted mist, her regulated and fearful, disciplined army opens their fists, and their swords and weapons fall to the ground as they hail to Dorothy for her unintentional miracle. Even they, the soldiers, understood they were fear and evil's captives, oppressed by how fear's forces had molded and hardened around them. But when love was acted out, and when love is acted out, there is no force that can keep love from dousing and cooling the flames of all fear. We really cannot imagine the unintentional consequences, the millions of unintentional consequences of even one small act of compassion and love. And we need not. That would be God's gift to us, so to speak. We just do the act of love and compassion, and God will surprise us with the results. Just act, just love, just show compassion. God waits for this from us. Yes, I know so often we feel the impatience of our having to wait for God to reveal himself or herself or to intervene in something. I know I'm like, where are you right now? Have you ever felt the same? It seems like we wait. But somehow I don't think that's anything compared to how God has to wait for us. After all, God has done God's part. God has intervened in history with the resurrection. And that has equipped us to do our part, to give our part, for us to be courageous and just act with love, rather than thinking about how it might inconvenience me, or, what love's consequences here might be. I mean, really, think about Dorothy. Did she really need to inconvenience herself on the way to see the wizard by collecting all these guys without courage, brains, or a heart? Wouldn't it have been so much easier for her and Toto to just skip their way on the yellow brick road to the great and glorious Oz in those fabulous pair of shoes she wore? Sure it would. But life isn't about what's easy. It's about what's meaningful. If we always did easy, we wouldn't grow our soul or shed the old skin. Love often isn't easy. But when practiced enough, when risked enough, you begin to understand, or should I say, you begin to feel that it's natural to you to love. It's intrinsic of you to love. It's in your DNA. It's in your cells. And that is why Lent is so important. That's why 40 days in the wilderness for Jesus was so important. He needed to get one heck of a good sunburn and peel away what he'll never need to use again. Any identity, whether the carpenter's son or the Baptist cousin, any identity other than the love of God working through him needed to go. The same is true for us. We too, in these 40 days, need to stay the course during doing the Lenten thing, to shed the old burnt skin, to reveal new love cells that have been working hard beneath the surface, waiting too for their debut in this world, their debut as you, as love. At the annual meeting, we approved a new statement of mission at St. Peter's. We are love, challenged by Christ to serve all. Because we do Lent, we discover how authentically love we are. And like Christ was challenged for his teachings, we are challenged by them too. To serve all. No exceptions, no exclusions. So whether you like the witch or not, whether you like the chef or not, whether you like your boss or not, whether you like your very strange neighbor or not, or whether you like someone so different than you or not, love is your only response ever, because it was God's first response to you that actually created you. You were created in love. So may you risk being the love and compassion that you are as you continue on Lent's yellow brick road. Let us pray. Creator God, make us into the human instrument of love that you created us to be. Nothing else will do. However close or far we are from that, please give us a miracle. Shift our thinking and peel away the old skin of thoughts, revealing us as a blessing to all. Hear us now as we pray the prayer with one voice that Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our wrongs, as we forgive those who wrong us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I invite you to share with me responsively as we prepare for our offering with our prayerful reflection of abundance. Today we give thanks for our opportunity to give, reaching all around the world with our gifts to one great hour of sharing. With joy in our hearts, let us receive this morning's offering.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn. We don't get to those who love us most grow if we let them. That we have that every time. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun. Like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the mud. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's plenty to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled, like a ship blown from its moorings believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Please join me in our offering for dedication. Generous God, bless these gifts that we return to you, and bless the hearts that give. Unite our hearts with those hearts that will be strengthened, helped, and healed through these gifts. May this money be used faithfully and purposefully, furthering your reign of compassion and justice around the world. May we remain mindful that the only true purpose of money is to help love her. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please be seated. At this time, I would invite Amanda's class up for information on the mission trip. Oh, it's just not your class. That's what I said.
Good morning, everyone. We are excited to be here today because we have been approached by some of the kids and we have put together a mission trip that they're going on this summer. So they are going to be taking the next couple of weeks and sharing little bits of information with you so that you're well informed, and will hopefully pray for our safe endeavor and safe return and great experiences. We are going on a mission trip to St. Louis, Missouri. We have 11 people going. We also have 3 chaperones. We are still looking for a male chaperone. So if you're male and would like to go on a mission trip, please let me know. We'll be going August 1st through the 7th, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be warm, but it's going to be good. We are going to Missouri, and we do know that lately there have been some problems and some safety concerns down in Missouri. But the group that we are working with is called the Urban Mission Inn, and they're located in St. Louis, but on the better side of town. And while our workshops are going to take us to a more needy section of part of town, we have lots of supports in place, and we have check-ins, and they can't leave our site at any time. We have lots of safety concerns, and we're taking more staff along just to ensure their safety. So we have 3 people today that are going to be speaking about something. There you go.
Hi, we're going to St. Louis, Missouri, and we're going there to be helping people in need of God's helping hands. We are going to help at different places to make the lives of the people in that area a better place. We don't know exactly what we're doing, but we are very excited to tell.
Amanda, thank you so much for your leadership on this. Do you need some money?
They will
needs to raise $600 to participate. And we had a broad fly schedule, but it was freezing cold, so that had to get canceled. So please, thank you ahead of time to the congregation and any friends in the community for your generosity for the mission trip. Also involved in the missions and ministries this week in the life of the church. There's 20 students and adults going to the gathering in Milwaukee. This is where we feed the hungry and the homeless. And I want to put a shout out, great thank you to the new eyewitness newsletter that you are receiving. This is one of the evidences of our new media coordinator, John Greer, and the hands of Mike Mathis. And we were able to solicit everybody we needed to drive. It's just a great, great tool. So if you've pledged to support that media coordinator position already, gosh, thank you so much. And if not, you can still pledge up to $200 and money over to Randy Olm, our church president, and that will go into the salary and wage fund for the media coordinators. So thank you for that. And then just a reminder, as adults, please join us on Wednesday nights, the confirmation. This year during Lent, we have adults coming into our classes. We have 4 different classes. We begin in the sanctuary about 6:30 with a kind of a devotion and mini worship service. And then we split up into our 4 classes, and adults are attending these classes, and sometimes they're moving around, excuse me. But nonetheless, and if you manage to come to all weeks, all 5 weeks of the Wednesday media confirmation classes, there are prizes. There are prizes. By the way, is anybody keeping track of this attendance? Oh, you are. There are prizes. So please come and join us and see what our confirmation classes are doing. I'm also just wanting to point out our Christian sympathies extended this week, as you can see, to the family of Jason Blanke. This is a non-member that fortunately Dan was able to serve a young man killed in a car accident, and Dan was able to serve the family at Susha Funeral Home in Plymouth. And we're always so grateful when we can offer these services for individuals who are not church. They did have an association with us through the life of the church. They were friends with a member, so came to us. Thank you again, Dan, for providing that message. And as well, our Christian sympathies are extended to Will Forrester and Lenore Forrester on the death of Will's sister, Wanda. Continue to keep you in prayer. At this time, I would invite any other prayer concerns to be lifted up that we can do together as the body of Christ. Hi, Nancy.
I just have a little story to tell. That's kind of, sometimes you need a little bit of So this is the story of a lovely Irish couple. They've been married for 30 years. 30 years, that's they happen. And every resemblance that you like, both these people, anyhow. So this is the story of a lovely couple. Their name is Michael and Anne. And they were getting ready for their Irish Day festivities. And Anne and Michael are outside drinking. And Michael's sitting there with his chin on his rake, just thinking. And Anne goes, Michael, why aren't you raking? We have lots of work to do. We have a big party coming up. And Michael says, well, Anne, I don't know. I've just been thinking, what if something would happen to me? Would you remarry? And Anne goes, oh, Michael, I don't even want to think about that. We have way too much work to do, and I don't want to discuss that. That's even minutes. And Michael, being the dutiful husband he is, kept on raking. A couple weeks later, they're getting ready for church on a beautiful Sunday morning and having their coffee. And Michael brings it up again. And my love, if something would happen to me, would you remarry? And Anne says, Michael, we're almost late for church already. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want you to bring it up ever again. Okay, that was it. And a couple months later, beautiful sunny day, and Michael's out on his favorite golf course, and he's looking, and when he's done, he calls Anne and said, let's meet for our sandwich at our favorite place. And they meet for a sandwich, and they're And Michael, he's contemplating and says, "And my love, if something would happen to me, heaven forbid I was on the golf course and I'd have a heart attack, would you remarry?" And Anne said, "Well, I know it's been heavy on your mind and I've been thinking about it too." And she said, "Maybe after the initial shock of losing you and a proper warning time, maybe I would remarry." And Michael says, "Okay, but Anne, what about our house? Would you be selling our house?" And Anne says, "Oh, Michael, I love our house and I love our gardens. I don't think I could ever give it up. I'd be definitely keeping the house." Okay, Michael said, "Well, what about our bed? Our lovely bed where we had many intimate moments and spiritual talks together. Would you be selling the bed?" And Anne says, "Oh, Michael, I don't know, we may get headquarters out. I just don't think I could give it up. I have to keep the bed." Okay, so Michael said, "What about my golf club? You wouldn't let me use my golf clubs now, would you?" "Oh, Michael, don't be ridiculous. He's left-handed."
This doesn't reflect anybody in the church being Michael and Anne. On that note, and now receive the benediction. Our worship is over, and now our service to love begins. From our oneness in Christ, you are called to many places to serve the diversity of God's creation. Go in faith that when you share yourself, you are united with a global family that holds you as one in love.
O God, who sent us back into the world to create